I believe every African woman could rise to her full potentials if she's intentional, deliberate, and consistent at it. This is Chinyere Idoko-Ezugwu. You are welcome to the Rising Woman's Gist Corner, a production of the Eden Woman Network Africa, the podcast. Three major factors responsible for your growth. Oh yes, today we are gisting about growth. When you talk about growth, when you hear growth, what comes to your mind? As for me, what comes to my mind is living. When you're growing, you are living. When you're not growing, you are not living. Growth is one of the characteristics of a living thing. So if you're alive, you have to grow. And here we are the Rising Woman's Gist Corner. So we are talking about factors responsible for our growth. So let me start. The first factor is your network. Who is in your network? Who is in your friendship? Who do you spend most of your time with? The wise man said that you're an average of the 5 people you spend your time with. Food for thought, I guess. Think about it. Who are the people you spend your time with? What is the book you read? What do you watch? The people you meet, the book you read, the TV you watch, the programs you watch on TV, all things are responsible for your growth. They are responsible for how far you can go in life. The second factor responsible for your growth is your thoughts. In your minds are solutions. The next level for your life starts from your thoughts. Do you know that thinking is a skill? Yes, thinking is a skill. You got to learn to think properly because you become your thoughts. Don't be scared, my sister. Your ability to think breakthrough thoughts determines the extent of your greatness. So when you sit on your own, when you meditate, instead of meditating on what you can't do, meditate on what you can do. Don't sit down thinking wrong thoughts, thinking failure, thinking hatred. Think positive. Think of where you want to be. And in no distant time, you see yourself there. Just try it. It works like magic. Number 3 factor responsible for your growth is your environment. Where do you always find yourself in? No, this environment also has to do with network also. They look alike, but somehow they are different. The environment, where do you always sit? Do you sit amongst corners? Do you sit amongst comfort people? Do you sit among gossip? Where do you always find yourself? Your environment determines your growth. Let me tell you something. God has created us to rise above challenges and circumstances. Always say, how can I do it? Never say, I can't do it. Don't catch yourself saying that. Successful people succeed because of personal development and growth. Personal development is always on my lips, and you will hear more of it on this podcast. Growth must be intentional. Get the needed training. Yes, you heard me right. Get the needed training. What you don't know is limiting you. You want to do that business? Go get the training necessary for that business. You want to excel in that career? Go get the necessary training. In that career, if you don't know where, ask questions and you'll always get an answer. Things will never change until you change. Things will never change until you change. And bear in mind, as an African lady, 3 things you must become. 3 M's. I call it my 3 M's. You must become a mentor, you must become a money maker, and you must become a mom. I don't mean you must have a biological child to be a mom. Being a mom is part of being an African woman. You can mother any child around you. Whatever battle you don't overcome, you're passing over to your children. So where do you want your children to begin from? You will stop there. That's where your children will start rising from. So try to conquer the battles you wouldn't want your children to fight. Because your children don't become what you say, they become who you are. Think about this deeply. Do women have lesser brains? In Africa, we normally see women as lesser people, but God did not make that. Why do we limit ourselves as African women? Success is not a destination, my sister. Success is who you are. Yes, that is what success is. So I could boldly say that nobody is more successful than his neighbor. When you start to grow, it shows, and you know it. When you do what intelligent people do, you become intelligent. You may ask, what do intelligent people do? Follow this podcast consistently, and you will get to learn more about it. My dear African lady, everything you need is already around you. Everything that you need to rise is already around you. Discover it, develop it, deploy it. Success is a journey we must all get on. Success is a journey of becoming. Welcome on board as we embark on this journey of becoming on the Rising Woman podcast. I hope to see more of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Rising Woman Gist Corner. You can do well to leave a comment behind. It means a lot to me and is really very important to us in this community. You are beautiful just the way you are, my African ladies. See you next time.